to you, dear Templars, as you are taking your seat. Let's get started. In the recent times, right, people have been mostly confused of what will be the Peter Obi's move for 2027. Is he going to join their coalition? Haven't shown interest in that coalition. Publicly spoke about it and, pledged that was going to be part of it. But there were other kind of like gray areas, which is believed to have not really been like settled, believed, right? And at a point, a lot believed maybe he's practically just going to stay in his Labour Party. Even though he came third in their last charade, he is still believed to be a real political threat, enough that if you can see those who were declared winner and their obsession with him and is obedient, some are even saying that he cannot repeat what happened in 2023 anymore. In all of this, right, Peter Obi himself remained very much like, kept his card to his chest, right? So in the last few days, it is now kind of like confirmed that he will be going to ADC. I don't know what arrangement is there in, but he is said to have prepared himself to actually really join them and fight for the party set ticket, so to say, for 2027. So he had a one-on-one with his supposed, supporters on Twitter or X yesterday, where it was like they put it to him, and he was asked if he was offered or he was given the vice presidential slot to someone so that they could team together and get rid of a Kolu in 2027. Well, his response probably now have sort of like made it to their headlines in Nigeria. He's categorically said he didn't travel all over the world, visiting countries to learn how they manage to govern or how, to govern, right? He didn't do all of that, only to end up as somebody's substitute or somebody's vice. And that is where we are going to start from this evening. The former world champion, Anthony Joshua, was also involved in a ghastly motor accident in Nigeria, some hours ago, right? That two people actually lost their lives. So we're going to touch on that. And then we're going to delve straight into Wike versus Makinde, PDP, APC, and the rest of that, right? This evening. So thank you so much for joining me. Let's kind of like start with this. Obi.
I asked you a question. Do you know me in 2018 or 19?
I have heard about you, but not to the extent that I do now, sir.
Okay, let me ask you a question. So I'm flying to all over the world to learn how they govern in order to be vice. When people go this thing, I'm not to God. I'm going all over the world. I said Ibrahim followed me with Dr. Mo to Indonesia, and I spent 1 week or 10 days even going outside Jakarta to go and see the president. Do you visit president to learn how to be vice? My brother, good night. Let us not, I said, I'm not to God. I might not even be alive in 2027. Are you aware? The best, one of the best candidates in Brazil died in a chopper. He died in a copter flying around. I'm happy to God that I'm alive. If I tell you the things that I counter, you will not believe it. Every single day. Do you know how many times I want to travel out of this country and I'm not allowed to travel? So please, let us go without the same Nigerian easiness. Nigerians don't want to work. They just assume Peter Obi is contesting for the office of the president. I am not God. God knows tomorrow. God knows tomorrow, and I'm doing so in the most decent manner. Tomorrow, I am most qualified. And I'll tell anybody I will change this country. Because I've seen the experience. I've studied it. I've followed it. And you will see it in days to come. That's how I work. I have the capacity, have the competence, the compassion, and
no, that's not enough. So you see, this is one of the reasons why some, right, believe that Peter Obi doesn't have what it takes to face the hegemony like that of Tinubu. He doesn't have it. Sometimes when you listen to him very well, right, especially when it comes to making that personal decision, like act like a leader to say, yeah, let's do it. You realize that sometimes it's mostly just him crying for help. For instance, what they are doing to me. Do you know what they are doing to me behind the scene? There are people who have imagined all of that. It's practically trying to let you know that they could kill me. So I don't know what will happen tomorrow if I tell you what I am going through in the hands of this government. Do you know there are times I wanted to travel out of this country that they stopped me? These are very sort of like, serious allegations. Do you get what I mean? So it's like the person who is to help, or one of the people to help face this APC and dislodge them from power, they are suffering behind the scene intimidation. The kind of intimidation that for his own safety, he can't even tell you. So somebody like me would never actually really believe that they have what it takes to save that country. His way is different. Like some of his supporters will say that, he's a very, he's not a desperate person and all that stuff. But in reality, right, when you are dealing with this kind of, group of political, criminals like this, you have to be brutal enough. So he's not that sure, if he's going to actually be president. But however, his own goal, as he said, it is that, I am running for the office of the president. I have what it takes. But it's just that what it takes to fix Nigeria, that's what he said he has, right? Well, does he have what it takes to dislodge, call? That's a different convo, right? Yep. Now we're going to stay a bit on politics, okay? Before we go to that of the incident that happened in Shagamu this morning, all right, to Anthony Joshua. A few days ago, the Solo Makinde Ibadan, that is Sheyi Makinde, granted his own sort of like a press, what do you call that thing again? Like a, press get together or something, where he invited journalists from different media houses to sit with him and ask him questions. So they were asking him questions about their PDP wahala. And he categorically named Wike as a man that is doing the actual job for Tinubu inside this PDP. He said a lot, okay, including the promise made by Wike to Tinubu that he will hold PDP down till after 2027, meaning PDP will become so useless that they may not even have presidential candidates. Meanwhile, Sheyi himself has a presidential ambition, as it's been rumored, so to say. So Wike has now responded. And according to him, he said a lot, as usual, right? And there's also a Faule part too, who is also on the side of Wike bashing Makinde. But let us start with Wike.
you're sounding like you want unity and collaboration between leadership, but Seyi Makinde is accusing you of doing the opposite. So if we get into his media chat that happened that time, we mentioned Reed by name and said in a meeting with the president that we were present and the president's chief of staff was present, that you said to the president that I will hold PDP for you. And then he said that we went with you to the veranda or the balcony and said, this is not what we planned, this is not what we agreed to. And then he said that if you're free to support the president if you want to, but he is paying not to. Now, is that factual? Because he said other people were there.
That's the blatant lie. And that's why, you see, Seyi that they have not called me Wike. Never. By the first time I say Wike. They've never called me Wike one day. It's unfortunate. First of all, you ask yourself, what was that meeting? What was the purpose of that meeting? That would have led me to say, Mr. President, I hold PDP for you. But all the Seyi Makinde not calling up all this while to tell the party, see what Wike is doing. I was in a meeting. I saw what Wike said. It is not correct. And let me prove the record straight. There's no such meeting. Rather, my humble self, the former governor of then was said Atom, the former governor of Aja said Ibazu, the former governor of Gonu was said Uruguay, and Seyi Makinde. We went to see president.
That's the G5.
Yes, we went to see president to discuss, of course, elections were over, to discuss about certain things. When we were there, the chief of staff, of course, he should know that the chief of staff is and the president. I was one who said, look, chief of staff, I'll come as sure as they can, remind the president of what we have discussed. There was nothing like ADC. We booked to go and see Mr. President. So you couldn't, it is completely out of place for anybody to say that in back meeting, I said to Mr. President, I hope PDP that for you. That's very unfair. Very, very unfair. Totally unfair. I mean, see, I told everybody, frustration, if you can see, if you watch it on that media, you can see frustration. And this is a young man who have advised severely. Many things is not like being a contractor, you share. What it is not like being a contractor with a they can't be for rules. They can't be for. When you say but they don't come into politics. When we come into politics. And you see, that's very wrong, they have an ambition. But the ambition is like peace. Tell Lord according to the rules.
Ambition, what is the ambition? Running for president or what?
No, they don't even have the balls to tell them I want to run for president. Nobody say that to anybody. But we know we are not kids. You see, there are things we can do. I think that people don't know. People do. They watch you. They follow what is going on. How will people be under this crisis? It's the same agenda's ambition. How will enter the crisis? He went and arranged with some people to those that absolutely is ousted. He allowed people to go to State High Court in Enugu. When we know that the State High Court has no jurisdiction over that matter, they got the judgment, no problem. Somebody went to a court of appeal. On appeal, somebody won. We all agree that the party can move on. Look, convention will be coming. Why not allow this to go on? We have only 1 year. So what are you pushing? In the convention, you will make sure those who don't want them to come back will not come back. He refused. I want the Supreme Court. When he went to Supreme Court, he left. He still believes that both Supreme Court said the party has no jurisdiction. No, what are you doing? Who appealed to Supreme Court? You and your colleague, you and your co-host appealed to Supreme Court, and he lost. Until when they went to INEC told them, listen, as far as we are concerned, in our system, the secretary of the PDP is Senator Sabe Ayam. Right? Now, Saki, we can bear this witness. We have made the Sayakis guest house sovereignty. Filtry, the governor of Adamawa was there. Bala, the chairman of the government of was there.
Anyway, so to with a wiki, yeah, whatever is going on in PDP is mostly orchestrated by Makinde because of his ambition. But what is Wiki's ambition in all of that? One thing about him is that he won't even answer the question directly. Okay, he said that it's not true that he promised Tinubu. But then what happened at that meeting? So he went on to mumble jumble everything together, right? Now he's going to tell us about the political journey of Makinde, how Makinde, who contested to be a senator at the time, he lost. Then he tried to be a governor. He lost until they brought him to him, and then he now gave him platform. He with a wiki, the benefactor.
That's our sovereignty. Filtry, the governor of Adamawa was there. Bala, the chairman of the government of was there. But he said, well, yeah, but nobody have agreed to do that. Makinde will not go and be a different thing. That's not it. And this is why we are here today. Because, okay, look at even the convention, for example. The board of trustees set up the committee to solve what do we do. Committee headed by Wike and Adamawa, former governor of Osun State, former deputy governor and chief of staff to President Jonathan. I don't know. Otedeme. So you go Zandam Kure and two other people came up with a report. Look, let's not go for this convention. Let's set up caretaker committee. The same thing, of course, you know that first he has done him. You may have done him, but just better. But the Lord has done the back and done the bag again. I don't know what you do have a senator with a jack bribe of 15 million naira. Everybody is aware of that. He went, they now denied and said, oh, the committee was compromised. The accused judgments of the Federal High Court, Justice Obatasho and Justice Luffy, substantial judgment, not others. Sheima Tumbe never says so. Frustration can make you do a lot of things that cause damage. He went to Ibadan State High Court to obtain an ex parte order. State High Court to obtain an ex parte order. So going to still go on with that confession. High Court ex parte order is a right substantive judgment of two courts. Of course, he had done his so-called convention, and that was not there. And then refused to recognize them. Then, in that same matter, Ahmed filed a premier objection to say that, look, court, you have made division over us. Why would you be a party to this? And the court agreed and struck an AMEC name. So there was nothing binding on AMEC. The same person then had gone to the Federal High Court in Ibadan to recognize them. They recognize them. Recognize the convention we have done. The convention at Federal High Court, I said, you cannot go ahead and do. You have either disobeying the court judgment. You got signed at the Federal High Court now in Ibadan. Now look, recognize us as the legitimate principal officers. That has not been settled. We have got to go to Federal High Court in Abuja against police until the secretary so can use. Why not wait for the Federal High Court to say, okay, he are the legitimate principal officer? So the point I'm making is not look at where PDP is today. Look at the crisis. Something that would have been solved. Listen to the voice of elders. Then go ahead. Then form caretaker committee. Today, PDP has no candidate in Makinde State. Today, PDP has no candidate in Osun State. Now, when you saw the one-party state, he is making us have a one-party state. If you are listening to people and allow due process to take place, with the issue of one-party state arise, we are going to create a one-party state. I really accusing the government of trying to have
a one-party state. Just listen to what people have said and feeling to process. By now, we wouldn't have been talking about one-party state. Now, having taken wrong steps, that is destroying your party. We're now accusing the other party of wanting to have a one-party state. That's our sovereignty.
Now, for your information, just for your own understanding, Makinde knows Wike very well. Wike is not useful simply because he's got so much money.